Welcome to Fresh Start with Jason Cline.
Welcome to Fresh Start with Jason Cline, founder of the law offices of Jason Cline in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Jason helps individuals and families across New Mexico find clarity and confidence through Chapter 7 and Chapter 13 bankruptcy solutions. I'm Evan Mack, and today we're talking about what property people can usually keep when they file for bankruptcy and how exemptions work in New Mexico. Jason, my man, welcome back.
Thank you, Evan. Great to see you.
Good to see you too, brother. So when someone is thinking about that bankruptcy, what types of property are they usually most concerned about keeping, Jason?
So the biggest concerns that people usually have are going to be with their homes, vehicles, bank accounts, retirement accounts, and even sometimes just their personal belongings. A lot of people do come into my office worried that they're going to lose everything they own. But in reality, most people are able to keep everything. The bankruptcy is really designed to help people keep property and maintain a normal life. So for a lot of clients, the fear is a lot bigger than the actual risk.
So what are the main factors that determine what property someone can keep in a bankruptcy case?
So it really comes down to a few key things. The type of bankruptcy that you're going to file, the value of your property, and how much equity exists in it. So then we need to look at what exemptions are available under the law. Equity is one of the biggest because bankruptcy courts are generally looking at what value someone actually owns in the assets after subtracting loans or liens. So every case is going to be different, which is why it's really important to review everything carefully before we file a case.
How do New Mexico bankruptcy exemptions work to protect someone's belongings?
So exemptions are laws that allow people to protect certain property rights during bankruptcy. So they're there because the law recognizes that people need basic property to live and work. So in New Mexico, there are exemptions that can protect things like your home, vehicles, household goods, retirement accounts, tools used for work, and other personal property. So the goal in bankruptcy is not to leave someone with nothing after they've gotten done. It really does help you get a financial reset while mostly keeping your property.
What kinds of everyday property are people usually able to keep? Furniture, clothing, personal items, things like that?
Really almost everything. So most people are able to keep all of their normal household items. You'll keep your furniture, your clothing, appliances, your dishes, televisions, all your everyday personal household belongings. They don't usually create a problem there. And household goods generally have a lot lower of a resale value than they did when you bought them. So we have a pretty healthy exemption in New Mexico. It's $75,000 protecting your household goods and your personal items. Most people can fit into that. Also, you're going to be able to keep your home and everything as well. There's very healthy exemptions for that in your vehicles.
How are bank accounts or cash handled when someone files?
So bank accounts and cash are a little bit more different. These are liquid assets. In some cases, the exemptions can protect all or part of that money, but timing does matter on that. We need to make sure that you have enough that it's going to leave you enough to live, but not have too much that we can't claim exemptions on it anymore. So that is one of the things that we need to look at prior to filing a case. And it's something we can also manage beforehand, to put it into places that are going to be protected rather than just sitting non-exempt in a bank account.
What about retirement accounts, pensions, 401ks, are those typically protected as well?
In almost every single case, yes. Retirement accounts, so long as you are contributing within the yearly maximums, then you're going to be able to protect 100%. So 401ks, IRAs, pensions, very strongly protected under the bankruptcy laws. So generally, you don't need to worry a thing about a retirement account when you file for bankruptcy.
If someone owns property with equity, like a paid off vehicle or valuable asset, how does that change the analysis?
So this is where a careful case analysis is important. So if someone owes the property with a lot of equity in it, we need to look at whether exemptions fully cover that value or whether there could be some exposure still in a Chapter 7 case. If it's beyond what we can exempt in the Chapter 7 case, then what can happen is a Chapter 7 trustee can jump in and take the property, sell it, pay creditors with the excess equity in it. Now, they do have to return the exempt portion to you. But if that is the case, that possibly you can lose it, that's where we look at Chapter 13. And in Chapter 13, you're going to be able to keep just about everything. However, it is a payment plan that allows you to keep it.
How does the answer differ between Chapter 7 and Chapter 13 when it comes to keeping property, Jason?
So, just like we were talking about a second ago there, if we can't claim an exemption on it to protect it in Chapter 7, then we can put it in Chapter 13. And in that non-exempt part of it that a trustee would be able to pay creditors with, you would pay back over a period of 3 to 5 years. So you'd get to make monthly payments in order to keep that property rather than letting a trustee sell it and pay that amount out. So the Chapter 13 is going to allow you to keep it, but you will have to make payments for it.
For someone worried they'll have to give up most of what they own, what should they understand about how bankruptcy actually works in practice?
They really need to understand that most people who file for bankruptcy keep the vast majority, if not all, of their everyday property. Bankruptcy exists to give honest people a chance to recover financially, not to punish them. A lot of the fear comes from misconceptions or stories that you've heard. A lot of these come from decades ago. Some are just misinformation that you find online. But the reality is that today, in most cases, they're designed to keep or to help families stabilize their finances while keep the property that they need to move forward.
Good stuff. Jason, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you, Evan.
All right. That's it for today's episode of Fresh Start with Jason Cline. To learn more about attorney Jason Cline and how he can help you navigate bankruptcy with confidence, visit attorneyjasoncline.com. Thank you so much for listening. And don't forget to like, leave a review, and subscribe to the show so you don't miss the next episode. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.